In 2015, Wu-Tang Clan shocked the music world. They announced an album called Once Upon a Time in Shaolin, an album designed as a one-of-a-kind work of art. Only a single copy would ever exist, and under its contract, the owner was forbidden from commercially releasing it for 88 years, meaning the world wouldn't officially hear it until 2103. This was Wu-Tang's statement against the streaming era, but instead of being remembered as a cultural masterpiece, the album's story became tangled in controversy, greed, and one of the most hated men in America.
The CEO of Turing Pharmaceuticals, Martin, thank you for joining us.
And Martin Shkreli, founder and CEO, Turing Pharmaceuticals.
This is the guy who went at Ghostface, who jacked up the prices on the HIV/AIDS pills.
He had the goons in the background.
Yes, the first question, are you a privileged, entitled prick?
No, come on, man.
This is the story of the Wu-Tang album the world might never hear. By the early 2010s, music was everywhere. Streaming platforms made albums instantly accessible, but also disposable. RZA, always the philosopher of the clan, wanted to challenge that. He teamed up with producer Silverings to craft a double album, recorded in secrecy over 6 years. The concept was to present hip-hop not as just music, but as fine art like a priceless painting in a museum. In 2014, Wu-Tang announced the plan. Only one copy would ever be made. No streaming, no radio singles, no leaks. Just one disc in a handcrafted silver box to be auctioned off to the highest bidder. In 2015, the album was sold at an auction for $2 million, making it the most expensive album ever sold. The winning bidder was Martin Shkreli, the CEO of Turing Pharmaceuticals, also known as the Pharma Bro. Martin was already infamous for jacking up the price of a life-saving drug overnight by 5,000%.
He raised the price of a drug used by AIDS patients from $13.50 a pill to $750.
He was despised, and now he owned the Wu-Tang album. Martin leaned heavy into the villain role. He bragged about owning the album. He threatened to destroy it.
Dennis, I'm gonna call you by your government name. You're not a Ghostface killer. Ever say some dumb shit again? This album, this Shaolin, I'm gonna erase all your shit from this album.
The album meant to elevate hip-hop became a prop in his cartoonishly evil persona, but Martin's empire didn't last long. In 2017, he was convicted of securities fraud and sentenced to 7 years in prison. As part of his forfeiture, the government seized his assets, including Once Upon a Time in Shaolin. For years, the album sat in legal limbo, locked away like a rap holy grail. In 2021, the US Department of Justice sold Once Upon a Time in Shaolin to cover part of Martin's $7.4 million forfeiture judgment. The buyer was a Hong Kong-based company called WTC Endeavors, who paid about $2.2 million. Just a few months later, the album changed hands again. This time sold to Pleaser DAO, a collective of crypto investors and digital art enthusiasts, for around $4 million. Since then, Pleaser DAO has promised to preserve the album and eventually make it accessible. The original contract bans any commercial release for 88 years, but technically they could share it for free. Let's be real though, no one is dropping a $4 million album without trying to get something back. In 2024, Once Upon a Time in Shaolin suddenly re-entered the spotlight. First, Australia's Museum of Old and New Art announced it would host a rare public exhibition of the album. Attendees were required to sign a contract agreeing not to record, and were treated to a special 30-minute mix crafted by Silverings specifically for the exhibition. But the buzz quickly turned messy when Martin Shkreli, the disgraced former owner, began streaming parts of the album online. This sparked a federal lawsuit from Pleaser DAO, who accused him of violating the original sales agreement. On August 27, a New York federal judge ruled against Martin, ordering him to surrender all of his digital copies of the album. After the exhibition, Pleaser DAO took a new step, digitizing the album and offering fractional ownership as an NFT. For just $1, fans could buy in, unlock a short sampler, and collectively move the album's official public release date forward 88 seconds at a time. As of now, the album is still more than 77 years away from its official release. And that's where the story ends, for now. It looks like we won't be hearing the album for a while, perhaps not even in our lifetime. But maybe that was the intention, to create a piece of hip-hop history that lives in legend, not on a playlist in a world where everything else is just one click away. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to support the channel, consider donating. Even $1 goes a long way. These videos take a lot of time to research and edit, so every bit of support is truly appreciated.